Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2020-21 season. My name is Dan and today we're going to be doing a Game Week 19 team selection video, plus having a look at my free hit scores from Game Week 18 as well. And we're going to make some transfers, we're going to set our captain, we're going to do everything in the build up to Game Week 19 basically, which starts tomorrow. Crazy stuff. Everything is coming so thick and fast, but really excited about the double game week. So without further ado, a quick word from our sponsors today. And it is, of course, OneFootball, our team selection videos, all sponsored by OneFootball now, once again. And now for those of you who don't know what OneFootball is, it's a great app/website for all things football. I personally use OneFootball to check scores, check stats on games, see what fixtures are coming up, all that kind of stuff. Really useful for that, for the fixture tool. But they also do really nice football news stuff, transfer rumours, stuff like that. In the January transfer window, that's pretty sweet. You can see what transfers are potentially happening, you know, in your favourite teams around the Premier League, this, that and the other. So yeah, go check it out, completely free. The link is at the top of my description. So yeah, go for it, guys. Why not? So here is my Game Week 18 free hit team in all its lack of glory. Yeah, it was a bit of a free hit fail. It really was a free hit fail, and I don't know whether to say, okay, maybe I was unlucky, maybe everyone got fairly low scores. I mean, I think generally speaking, the free hit average score was probably only around, you know, maybe early 50s, but, you know, at 43 points, that's really not good, is it? And out of my 7 attacking players, only 2 of them got any returns, and that was KDB and Rashford, neither of which I captained, of course. Bruno Fernandes captaincy, absolute fail there. So a little bit disappointed there. Obviously, there was so few goals going around. I mean, like, the only game that had, well, the only team that scored more than 1 goal was Everton. And what players that scored for Everton was Michael Keane and Alex Iwobi. Something like that, wasn't it? So, really hard to get the right players. I don't think anyone had an amazing score. One thing I did get right is the double Man City defence, and I was very glad I went with that decision. Yeah, it definitely gives me food for thought going forward as well about that Man City defence for sure. But other than that, really disappointing. Arsenal in particular, really disappointing. I thought we would get something there. Kieran Tierney, I was really hoping that he was going to start. He would have had a nice clean sheet there, and possibly some bonus points as well if he was to start. Well, that wasn't to happen. Apparently, he's got a minor muscle injury, and he was just dropped out of the squad as a precaution just for this one game. And yeah, I felt really hard done by. Other things, sort of Wilson, I decided to put into my team at the last minute. I was pretty set on having 4 defenders. The 4 defenders would have included De Gea and Reguilon. That would have been in place of like Clark and Martinez, and then you know, Tierney would have been in there as well. But obviously he would have dropped out for Clark anyway. But that would have really improved my score. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I stick to my opinion that the defenders were perhaps the way to go? I don't know. It's definitely given me a lot to think about. I have had a small green arrow, but my free hit is gone. So my score is much better than the average score, if you like. But no free hit left now. My free hit was a failure. It didn't work out this season. I kind of got to wait for next season to use my favourite chip again, and hopefully it goes a little bit better. But there you go. What can you do? Like I said, it is a small green arrow at least, so it's not like I'm plummeting down the leaderboard, but I really was targeting the Game Week 18 and 19 to push up the table. And you know what? There's been more bad news for my Game Week 19 team as well, but let's just move on to that because I don't want to dwell on this failure too much. And I've taken some thoughts about it, and you're going to use those thoughts to move forward, but I don't want to cry about it. So let's set up for Game Week 19. Hopefully I can pull this back a little bit. I still have a little bit of confidence here, but it has the last few game weeks, in fact, where things haven't gone horribly, but they haven't gotten exactly well. They have given me a lot to think about in terms of how I want to move forward and actually try and progress and boost my season somehow by doing something maybe a little bit different and taking, I don't know if you classify it as a risk, but whatever. We'll get to that in a second. So we're going to start off with Martinez in goal. Manchester City away. Probably maybe not going to get too many points out of that one, but Newcastle at home is a really nice one. I really do hope that Martinez is going to be one of the players at Aston Villa who is going to be fit and healthy. There are rumours that Martinez is in fact one of the players who has had COVID, so he might not be able to play in the first fixture. But you know what? If you can play against Newcastle at home, I think I'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. He's a really good goalkeeper. He gets loads of points. He gets loads of saves. I'm happy to have Martinez in my score. So no worries so far. Chilwell next, Fulham and Leicester. Fulham not exactly known for scoring a lot of goals, although they did ruin my Hugo Lloris clean sheet last game, which was a nightmare, but whatever. Fulham away and Leicester, they're not too bad fixtures. I've not got a huge amount of faith in Chelsea at the moment in general, but Chilwell is kind of still going to be on the cast and maybe get some clean sheets. Chelsea have dropped off in terms of how likely they are to get clean sheets, but across 2 games, you would think there'd be something there. Cancelo next. Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Now, this is one I am really happy with, a player that I'm super happy with. You know, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you will know I don't shut up about Cancelo. If you watch my streams, you'll know I don't shut up about Cancelo. Really like the player. And, you know, Crystal Palace at home, Aston Villa at home, 2 home games. Clean sheets there potentially. You would say that there is a potential for 2 clean sheets there. So that's 12 points. We can start looking at bonus points there. Maybe he gets 1 or 2 bonus points across the 2 games. He's already at sort of 13, 14 points maybe, and if you honestly, he is so ready to get a goal or an assist. It's gonna happen eventually, and in a double game week, double the odds of it's happening. 20 point a week for Cancelo, it's gonna happen eventually. Why not this week? So yeah, really looking forward to having Cancelo. Then moving on to Sofal, player I've been raving about for absolutely ages. This is the game I have been targeting for so long with Sofal, the game week, sorry. Burnley at home, West Brom at home. 2 really nice fixtures for a West Ham defender. Really liking the look of things. And honestly, guys, if you're doubling up on West Ham's defence, wouldn't blame you right now. I honestly wouldn't blame you because this looks pretty good, doesn't it? Burnley not known for scoring a lot of goals. West Brom not looking likely to score a lot of goals. So far, still offering a degree of creativity. If he can play in both of those games, which I expect that there's a very good chance that he does, we're going to be looking at, again, 12 points as a base, probably, if it's 2 clean sheets there. That's pretty nice, isn't it? And let's move on to Kyle Walker-Peters, and this is where my troubles do indeed start, because previously there was going to be a double game week for Southampton. They were going to be playing Leeds. Leeds, therefore, would have also had a double game week. You'll soon find out that I've actually packed my squad with Southampton and Leeds players in anticipation for this game week, but everything has changed. So all my planning has kind of, well, a lot of my planning anyway, has gone out of the window, and I'm really disappointed by that. It's kind of out of my control. COVID has kind of just changed the season in so many ways, and it's left a lot of us really kind of unlucky. Maybe it's benefited some other people as well. It's kind of the toss of the coin, and I've landed on tails, and I was betting on heads, basically, and no one had any idea this was going to happen. It's just really disappointing because it wasn't even a COVID outbreak at Southampton. It was against the FA Cup opponent, which that fixture's now had to be rescheduled. Leeds game now moved to who knows when. Yeah, and I've lost a load of double game week players. Basically, that's the situation. So Kyle Walker-Peters, whereas it looked good before, Leicester and Leeds, not an amazing couple of games, but that could have been at least a few points there. You would expect him to play 90 minutes in both games, so whatever. We'll move on to midfield. Salah, Manchester United and Burnley he plays. Okay, that's okay, but Salah's not exactly been in great form. Liverpool not been in great form recently. Do want to stick with Salah though, because, you know, I may have said this for a couple of game weeks now, but he's not going to blank forever, is he? It's not how. Salah is not suddenly a terrible player. The returns are going to come. Manchester United and Burnley, both at home, they're not exactly bad fixtures, are they? And a lot of people will still want to be captaining Salah this game week. I have been put off a little bit by captaining Salah just through his recent performances and Liverpool's recent performances, but, you know, there's still something there. Bruno Fernandes is someone I am a little bit more confident in, even though he failed as a captain last game week. That's a rare thing to happen. Usually he's pretty solid, isn't he? He usually gets, you know, something from a game, and not very often he gets a lot from a game. So that's kind of something we like. Liverpool away. What kind of game is that going to be? I'm not sure. But Fulham away, I'm kind of getting the impression that you can't score a lot of goals against Fulham. I feel like Fulham are one of these bogey teams now that are going to not concede a lot of goals. But if there are going to be goals in that game, you would hope maybe 50-50 chance that Bruno Fernandes is involved, whether it's a goal or an assist in that one. And then it's a case of what he can do against Liverpool. It's not an amazing pair of fixtures, but you back Bruno Fernandes to do something in them, don't you? And then moving on to Son, 9.8 million now. He is 60% ownership. He's kind of in everyone's teams, but everyone who's active has Son. There's nothing too much interest in here. I'm kind of, you know, you keep him just for the sake of, if he scores and you don't have him, you're in big trouble, dude. So Sheffield United away, I actually quite like this one. Now, this is one of the only fixture, in fact, that I think maybe there's a chance, you know, Son, Kane, maybe someone like Reguilon can actually outscore some of the double game week players. I think there's a really good chance of that happening because Sheffield United away is kind of a good game to be playing. Now, Sheffield United kind of turned it up against Newcastle last game week, but It's only Newcastle. Let's be real. They've been in really poor form recently. So, overall, I am looking forward to seeing what Son can do. I'm not too worried about him being on a single game week. The intention was always to keep Son, so that's not really a concern to me. And then finally, Zaha in midfield, who I'm not going to talk about too much. You guys very well know that I've always planned on taking out Zaha for game week 19. That's why I've got 5.5 million in the bank, so I can upgrade Zaha to any midfielder in the game that I could possibly want. The world is my lobster, so we're actually absolutely going to be upgrading Zaha there. And then moving on to the forwards, Bamford. Home against Brighton. Previously, he had Brighton and Southampton. Again, super frustrating. Really wanted that double game week there for Bamford. It's why I brought him in, only like 3 weeks ago. I brought him in, anticipating this. Che Adams, only brought him in 3 weeks ago. I was anticipating a double game week there as well. I think Bamford maybe could get something at Brighton. But Che Adams against just Leicester alone, I'm suddenly less confident about this one. So, yeah, just not great. And then quickly onto my bench, Forster, never really expect anything from him. Rafinha, this is the real kicker. This is the real kicker because the game week before the free hit game week, so game week 17, I transferred out Grealish because Grealish didn't have a double game week at that point and brought in Rafinha, who did have a double game week at that point. So I made the transfer. I think I might have even taken a -4 in that game week to do this. Made this transfer with anticipation of, I'm getting in a double game week player and I'm losing a single game week player. Now it's completely turned on its head and I've lost a double game week player and I've gained a single game week player. And so much so that I'm now having to put, I'm not having to, but I'm now choosing to put Rafinha on my bench because the situation has changed so much in it was like 10 days ago I made these transfers and it's all changed so much since then. It's a night. Sometimes FPL is such a nightmare. Like, I really feel like I've been screwed over here. I really do. But, I mean, I'm still going to try and be positive and try and make the best of the situation. I always try and, be positive and try and be progressive with my transfers and the moves that I'm going to be making. But I can't help but feel that perhaps luck has not been on my side with this one. And I've transferred in a player, targeting this game week, and now I'm actually benching that player. And I've lost a player in Grealish, who actually might have been quite nice for this game week. Crazy stuff. Really crazy. I mean, I'm not definitely going to drop Rafinha. I think the one decision left to be made in this team is, am I going to be playing Rafinha or Adams? It's really a coin toss. I'm going to decide nearer the deadline which one I'm going to play out those two and just go for my gut. But as things stand, I'm lining up with Adams over Rafinha. Not convinced by that one yet, but we'll see. And then Brewster, Ferguson on the bench. Nothing really to talk about there. So, we need to make some transfers. We've got 5.5 million in the bank. Now, I think the first transfer is pretty obvious, but I'll throw them back on screen at the same time. So, here you go. Zaha to De Bruyne, and we're going to do Kyle Walker-Peters to John Stones, which maybe that one you weren't expecting quite as much. So, doubling up on the Man City defence and taking a -4. Now, usually I wouldn't take a -4 on a defender, but I do want to pack my team with double game week players. I do want to double up on Man City's defence in this game week, just as I did last game week. They are getting so many clean sheets. Pretty much every single game. The only clean sheet in recent memory that they didn't get was against Chelsea. They're absolutely smashed now. Every single game, they have an amazing defensive record. The defensive stats look so good. And John Stones only missed, I think, 1 game in 9 now. There's no other Man City defenders fit. Laporte may be back for the second game. I very much doubt it. Ake's out. Fernandinho, he is fit, but I don't know if he's actually going to get some game time. Why break up this amazing defence that Man City have got going right now? So I do think John Stones, I'm getting increasingly confident that he is here to stay. Plus, with Man City, their next 3 game weeks after the double, I can't remember exactly, it's something like West Brom and Burnley and one other team. 3 really good fixtures for defenders as well. So really do want for the next 5 Man City games to have 2 Man City defenders. Well, what happened in the last game week, what happened in the last few game weeks is a lot to do with the reason why I'm putting in more defenders. Last game week, there was 5 clean sheets out of the 10 teams that played. Was it 10 teams that played? 5 clean sheets. Maybe it was, in fact, 6 teams that played. No, not 6, 10, yeah. 10 or 12 teams that played. I think it was 10. 5 clean sheets. The week before that, there was 5 clean sheets. 5 teams with clean sheets anyway. The week before that, I think there was 8 teams with clean sheets. Out of 20 teams, 8 of them got clean sheets. So clean sheets are big right now. And
Therefore, I don't really see an issue with going 4 at the back. At least for this game week, it's easier. It's easier for me. It's a player in Stones that I actually want to take forward anyway. I would probably be transferring him in next game week anyway. Things are changing very quickly, so perhaps it's nice to be able to actually have a little bit of stuff to think about. What kind of transfers I want to make, free myself up a little bit next game week. Because there are moves I want to make as well. And obviously, Bruno Fernandes, that was an easy decision. That was always going to happen. Zaha to Bruno. Not Bruno Fernandes, KDB, sorry. Zaha to KDB. Always definitely 100% going to happen. That's why I had so much money in my bank. It's a really, really easy decision, and, whilst we're on this topic, we may as well just tell you guys. It's going to be KDB captain. I'm a big fan of transferring in a player to captain him. And then we're going to put the vice captain on Salah, because I do think that there is a chance that Salah comes back. But KDB is kind of looking like the best pair of fixtures there. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, both at home. Quite like the look of that. Salah not in amazing form. Fernandes, I could captain him potentially. But I don't know. Those don't look like amazing fixtures to me. Son, single game week, do I really want to go that? The other options are we could go for a defender. Cancelo, maybe, Sofal. Those two, I'm expecting pretty nice scores from. So I have considered them, but no, if KDB, it seems like the one to go for. At least let's captain an attacking player. If I'm going to go defensive in my squad selection, let's at least captain an attacker. So yeah, this is my team. This is locked in terms of transfers. I made the transfers literally about an hour ago before I made this video. I finalised these transfers. And the only decision left to be made is, am I going to play for Rafinha? Am I going to play Che Adams? I don't know the answer to that one right now. Adams is who I've got at the moment, but that could change. That could change in the deadline. I'll do a deadline stream, so we will talk about that then. But yeah, there we go, guys. It's been a really disappointing week. It's been a bit of a stressful week in my personal life as well, which we won't go into now. Perhaps talk about that on stream. But I think for this, everything goes wrong. I lose 4 double game week players with one cancellation of a fixture. Really, really stressful for my FPL team. I think I've managed to claw it back a little bit. It's not perfect, but looking at this team, I think this is probably a Green Arrow team. You would hope it's still a Green Arrow team by quite some distance as well, particularly with the double Man City defence, which I think is a bit differential, particularly with KDB captain. Not everyone owns KDB. Not everyone owns him. Perhaps that will change as we approach the deadline, but not everyone owns him. So overall, it's okay. Let's see what happens. There could still be green arrows here for me. Let's find out. Let's find out, guys. So yes, thank you for watching this video today. Please do give a like and subscribe if you are new around here, as we've quickly approached 50,000 subscribers. Hoping to get 50,000 by the end of January, so I only can do that with your guys' help. So please do subscribe if you are new around here. Really, really appreciate it. Please wish me luck, because I really need it right now. I swear, I really, really need some luck. But also good luck to you guys. I hope you all do really well. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on my transfer and my team, and how perhaps you would move forward with if you had the same situation as I do. But transfers are locked in, so not going to change now. But there you go. Maybe you can give your opinion on Adams versus Rafinha. Who do you prefer out of those two? Because I'm kind of on the fence at the moment. But there you go. Please check out OneFootball in the description if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, support me on Patreon, or join my mini league. All of those links are in the description too. And hopefully, guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning for a nice deadline stream and make the final Rafinha versus Adams decision. But there you go. Cheers for watching, guys. See you later, mates. Bye-bye.